All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're totally strapping in for an insider survival guide to the vibrant, non-stop, and completely unforgettable world of a Brazilian casamento. If you've ever wondered how two families truly merge in the celebration of pure joy, well, you are in the right place. Now look at this quote right here. It's basically your first and, honestly, your most important warning. You better pack your dancing shoes. We're gearing up for a literal endurance event here. A Brazilian wedding is absolutely not a passive spectator sport, it's an all-out, joyful marathon.
So here's our itinerary for today's explainer. First, a celebration like no other. Second, unique style and superstitions. Third, the ceremony and entrances. Fourth, the legendary all-night reception. And finally, a feast of Brazilian flavors.
All right, part 1. A celebration like no other.
Let's dive right in and look at the sheer scale of what makes this so incredibly unique. Because, before the big day even arrives, you've got to understand that this isn't just a quick afternoon affair. Not at all. It's a massive, multi-day communal gathering. Our sources point out that couples often pick these stunning beach locations or ranch houses way outside the city, and they routinely host upwards of 200 guests. And the commitment? It starts way early. Couples actually wear promise rings on their right hands long before the wedding. So ultimately, the whole event is this fascinating blend. You've got the deep reverence of Catholic roots colliding with the explosive, non-stop energy of a massive Latin American fiesta.
Moving on to part 2, unique style and superstitions.
So as guests start packing their bags and the bridal party preps, you really need to know the rules of style and, of course, the fun superstitions that kick off the morning. There's actually a major difference in how the wedding party is organized. Instead of your typical matching bridesmaids and single groomsmen standing in identical rows, Brazilians do it differently. They choose couples, often 3 or more pairs known as padrinhos and madrinhas. And these aren't just ceremonial roles, they act as lifelong mentors to the newlyweds. Oh, and instead of floral boutonnieres, the padrinhos traditionally wear little Brazilian flags on their lapels to show off their national pride. How cool is that?
Now, if you're attending as a guest, your wardrobe choice is absolutely crucial. You have to avoid black since it signifies mourning, and obviously never wear white. That is strictly reserved for the bride. But, the lack of matching bridal party outfits is actually a great thing. It lets everyone show off their own personal, vibrant style. And interestingly enough, Brazilian brides heavily embrace that classic Victorian tradition. You know the one, wearing something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, all to bring luck to the marriage. And speaking of luck, as the bride gets ready, she partakes in honestly one of the most charming traditions I've ever heard of. She literally writes or sews the names of all her single friends right inside the hem of her wedding dress. So as she's walking down the aisle, she's symbolically carrying her friends toward their own romantic luck, hoping to help them find love just a little bit sooner. Okay, part 3, the ceremony and entrances. Let's see how all this builds into the actual ceremony, which, by the way, completely flips the script on the traditional wedding entrance. The entrance is this spectacular, tiered event. Unlike a lot of Western weddings where the groom kind of just waits up at the front, the Brazilian groom gets an entrance almost as grand as the bride. He proudly walks in with his mother, then the padrinhos and parents take their places, and they're followed by kids carrying flowers, the rings, or even large lollipops and cute little signs. It all perfectly builds up the anticipation for the bride's final arrival. But wait, the crucial point here is this number, 10. If you're sitting there looking at your watch wondering where the bride is, don't panic. The bride is traditionally expected to arrive exactly 10 minutes late in some sort of stylish vehicle. It's definitely not bad manners. Actually, scratch that, it's basically mandatory. It's done purely for good luck and to build up the excitement in the room. Once she finally arrives, the roughly 60-minute ceremony begins. It is deeply spiritual, often a full Catholic Mass, but it's also wonderfully grounded in nature. Our sources highlight that beyond the standard vows and ring exchanges, the ceremony frequently includes rituals using sand, water, or fire. Water for cleanliness, earth for fruitfulness, and fire for the love that stokes the flame of life.
Next up, part 4, the legendary all-night reception.
The second those I-dos are finished, the atmosphere instantly transforms. We are now entering the legendary high-energy samba party. And let me tell you, the marathon of our Brazilian reception requires immense stamina from every single guest. I mean, just look at this timeline. You go from the 6 p.m. church service to the formal dinner,
right into literal hours of samba and pagode dancing, and just when you think you are totally wiped out at 3 a.m., boom, out come the late-night snacks, pushing the crowd all the way to a glorious sunrise farewell.
Right in the middle of all this endless dancing, you're going to witness one of the most hilarious and honestly practical traditions. It's called Operación Lua de Mel, or Operation Honeymoon. Basically, a padrino will theatrically grab a huge pair of scissors and playfully attack the groom, cutting his tie into dozens of little pieces. Guests then step up and buy these tie pieces with cash, which goes directly to funding the couple's honeymoon. It's just a fantastic, interactive way for everyone to support the newlyweds.
But you know, despite the wild party atmosphere, there's also a really deep sense of intimacy and gratitude. During the early part of the evening, the bride carries a basket of lembrancinhas. These are small trinkets or favors. She spends a huge chunk of time walking table to table, making sure she personally greets and thanks every single guest. It really makes a massive 200-person event feel like an intimate family dinner.
Which brings us to part 5, a feast of Brazilian flavors.
You are definitely going to need fuel for this epic party, so let's explore the absolute feast of Brazilian culinary traditions they serve up. The typical menu is a diverse, mouth-watering tour of Brazil's incredible food culture. You usually start with warm pão de queijo, that iconic fluffy cheese bread, and savory coquinhas. Then, dinner might feature a rich black bean and pork feijoada, or maybe some filet mignon, all washed down with plenty of caipirinhas, the national cocktail made of sugarcane spirit and lime. And finally, bright tropical desserts like passion fruit mousse come out to keep everybody's energy sky high.
But hey, beware. The dining experience comes with its very own set of unique cultural superstitions that guests strictly abide by. Drop a knife during dinner? Yup, that means a fight is coming. And you'll notice absolutely no one mixes mango and milk, because old beliefs say that combination will make you sick. On the flip side, you might spot a tiny plate of salt sitting in the corner of the room. That's there to ensure good luck constantly flows through the venue.
As the night finally winds down and the sun literally starts to peek over the horizon, you'll be handed a very special treat. And this beautifully represents the entire event. We're talking about 2 small sponge cakes representing the bride and groom, and they're held together by a sweet dulce de leche filling, which symbolizes their sweet bond. By sharing it with the guests, it's meant to spread that good fortune to everyone in the room.
This treat is called the bem-casado, which literally translates to well-married. And according to our sources, having this at the wedding, it isn't optional, it is mandatory. It's the cultural heart of the whole culinary experience. The idea is that by eating it, you're blessed with the same good fortune as the couple. It serves as the perfect, sweet reminder of the love and community shared that day.
And that brings us to the end of our journey. From the padrinhos repping their little flags, to the tie cutting for honeymoon funds, all the way to eating bem-casados at sunrise, it's just an incredible testament to family and joy. Thank you so much for joining this explainer. I really want to leave you with this thought. Knowing the sheer stamina, deep symbolism, and vibrant joy required, how will you incorporate the spirit of a Brazilian casamento into your next big celebration? Until next time, keep learning and keep celebrating.